privately owned acquisition, development, and construction company. We specialize primarily in senior housing, multifamily, mixed-use projects. The next project I'll talk about is Google. I was pretty actively involved, I think it's fair to say, in the negotiations of that project. Negotiations stretched over about 3 years. Google tends to refresh their space constantly. They constantly have crews on site. So what they've built one day will come out sometimes not very long after and be redone completely. So they're refreshing their look, they're refreshing their spaces, and they actually have more money invested in their tenant improvements than we do have in the shell and the core of the building. So they spend quite a bit of money on their TIs and keeping their employees happy. The amenities they provided, they cut the floor out of the lobby, they put a climbing wall in, which does get a lot of use actually. We've put an indoor golf simulator down there. I think you can play 120 golf courses. 20 PGA golf courses. They bring in golf pros to give them golf lessons, and anything they do to keep their employees on site, they will do. There's multiple restaurants and cafes in the project. There's 2 main restaurant areas with multiple cafes within them, so you can, and they're all very healthy. The food's very good, so the intent is once their employees get there that they don't leave. They work there, they eat there, their families will come and eat with them. It's a very self-contained campus. It's really a unique campus because... All free. Yeah, everything's free, of course. It's really a unique campus because it's really a suburban setting in an urban market. So kind of the project specifics, and these aren't necessarily all the specifics everybody would like to know. I know that everybody would like to talk about the rent and the structure of the deal and everything, but of course we can't. There's pretty strict confidentiality clauses with Google and their transactions. We can tell you a little about the project. The project's 180,000 square feet of gross space. There's 721 parking stalls, which is about 4 per 1,000. We actually toyed with adding a whole nother level of parking in the building, going 3 levels below. Decided not to, but they do have a lot of people in this space. If they get up to 1,500, 2,000 employees. The rental rate will be calculated based upon a rent constant, so it's not an agreed upon rent. It's basically a rent constant or cap rate applied to the total cost of the project. It's very, very hard to pinpoint exactly what the building's going to cost because Google makes some changes along the way. I mean, they really do, put the building on steroids to a degree, so the costs are a little bit hard to peg. The railroad right-of-way separates the 2 campuses, and it was owned by the port, had the railroad. In the midst of this, it was shut down, and it was intended to be acquired by the city of Kirkland, which they've now done. So we were able to negotiate directly with the city of Kirkland all of our necessary easements. So we basically have easements, or crossing easements, for pedestrians crossing. We have it for vehicular crossing, and really important to Google, we actually can put a sky bridge or a bridge from one campus to the other that won't be accessible to the public. So everything on grade will be accessible to the public. We'll be improving it with a bike trail, green space, possibly some basketball courts, et cetera, play area. That'll all be open to the public. It'll be open to Google. The sky bridge will go over that, as well as any future light rail if it were ever to happen. And that's all being paid for by the project.